Hey, it's your boy, Sergeant Hooked on Heroes, hitting you with another brain-spanking new video. This time will be my very first video for Kamen Rider Gotchard. This is going to be the next new season of Rider, right following up right after when Geats finishes up pretty soon here in the next few weeks. Yeah, I'm pretty pumped. I'm pretty excited about it. So I was going to run through some of the character descriptions and different things we've gotten about, the plot overall-ish. And kind of go from there. The thumbnail for this is going to be the awesome poster they revealed with the characters actually in the background, not just Gotchard's suit. Pretty much from day one, Gotchard's suit caught my attention. I really like it. I like the elements of having the scarf there, the very much so an Ichigo-styled homage with how the helmet looks. The card gimmick is cool, but I want to see it actually be an actual playable TCG rather than just collect these cards. That's what the gimmick is, lol. But let's jump into the characters. So we actually first start with the seemingly going to be the rival character, might be the secondary rider, even though he doesn't call himself that. So we have Spanner Kurogane. His last name is Black Steel. He's an A-class alchemist dispatched and working for Alchemist Academy. So essentially there's the normal school, and then underneath the school is this Alchemist Academy where all the characters go, and the main character finds out about, starts becoming an alchemist. Unlike Hotaro, he believes Kemi are tools and shouldn't have a free will. He made the Velverad system, and it's not a rider system, but simply just an armored suit. So that's going to be our rival type character. I don't know if this picture will show up great on my camera, but we will try to have you guys see that sort of there. I don't know, but that's his suit. It definitely looks like it's possible pieces will break away to a normal rider suit, a la Machine Chaser from Kamen Rider Drive. I think it's a decent setup for the character. Being this kind of rival character definitely gives a lot of vibes of Brave from X8, how he just didn't want to work with Emu at first, thought of him as a failure. He probably doesn't really like Hotaro that much. So that's him. Then we have Kudo Rine, Hotaro's classmate who is secretly an alchemist. Her father was an alchemist, and he's the one who gives Hotaro the Steamliner and Hopper 1 cards. She goes to the Alchemist Academy, the secret school underneath Hotaro's high school. So that is going to be our secondary character that, I don't know, should be a love interest, but definitely a friend for Hotaro. And her father, like I said, is the one that gives him the Ride Kemi cards. The Ride Kemi cards being what we transform with. That's the gimmick item for this season, creating all the different forms and such. And he also uses those to capture the Kemis themselves, the little monsters, in the card to then use their power. So that's her. And then we move on to Kudo Fuga, one of the greatest alchemists among the Alchemist Society. He's ensuring the Kemi weren't used as weapons by the main evil, the main 3 evil sisters are the main, we'll talk about them in a minute, but they're like the villains. He's trying to make sure they weren't using them as weapons, but was cornered by them and gave his final wishes to Hotaro by giving him the Hopper 1 and Steamliner cards. He is Rine's father. So cool little interaction there that the main female cast member is going to be not only Hotaro's best friend, but also her dad is the one that gives him what he needs to transform for the first time. It's actually kind of sort of similar to my own rider idea I had, Bark Up, where there's some different little connections there character-wise that are kind of similar, but it's cool. Then we have Ginkgo, an alchemist from Kansai, goes to the same class as Rine. Her family is not wealthy, and she's a very cheap individual, to say the least. She is always trying to sell her Kemi cards to Hotaro. She has a long friendship with another one of the classmates. Just making sure I got this all set here. Alright, so we got Sudohara, a really brainy alchemist who goes to the same alchemist class as Rine. He's really misanthropic, carries a tablet with an AI named Isaac, who talks for him as he's very introverted. He really likes Kemi, just like Hotaro, maybe more than people. So, they've got a brainy type character that just is kind of introverted, doesn't want to talk. None of these right now scream out that they're going to be riders necessarily. I honestly hope they kind of go Forze's route, where it's basically just Forze and Meteor, and that the rest of the team is just normal people who do their own things to help out, in their own way without having to transform. This one's very interesting, and I have a theory about this one. So this is Minato, Hotaro's middle-aged, dull history teacher. Real identity is a teacher at Alchemy Academy hidden in the basement. It's unknown if Minato is his real name, but when he switches to his alchemist clothes, he also becomes really cool and mysterious. So basically, he's a boring dork when he's the normal teacher, but then when he puts on his alchemist uniform, he switches, personality-wise, to being a lot cooler. I have a theory about him. We'll get to that near the end here once we discuss more of the characters. We also have Ryo Kaijiki. His last name is literally Swordfish. Classmate of Hotaro's, who's a nerd / otaku who reads the manga Supernatural Planets. For those that know the leak about Gotchard's Quarter 1 power-up, that manga is very interesting, so keep that in mind. Seems to be his second-in-command type friend character. Then we have the main villainesses, the 3 Dark Sisters, left to right. Lachesis, the youngest, who specializes in dark alchemy that controls will. Atropos, the oldest sister, who takes on a child form. She's the strongest and after all 101 Kemi and the Gotchard driver. And Kroto, middle child and a physical fighter. Interesting here that they are named after the Sisters of Fate from Greek mythology. I think that's a really cool, interesting little thing there. And cool that they're seemingly sort of designed with some of those things in mind, the way that they're dressed and stuff like that. Kinda. I mean, they look ancient in general. But it's cool that they're named like that, and it's cool that the main villain faction, at least so far, at the beginning, because we know Rider, come on, they're not going to be the only villains, are going to be 3 girls to start out with. I think that's really unique, really cool. And honestly, it's cool to see 3 main people be the bad guys right away, like we had in Revice with the Deadmans, right? Then, of course, last but not least, we get Hotaro Ichinose, Kamen Rider Gotchard, a regular high school student who wishes to help his mom restaurant, but he doesn't know what he wants to do. He wants to find that gotcha in life, he says. He's entrusted to become Gotchard, and when transformed, is an alchemist. And then I did get a bit of his henshin pose. We do get to see that. The fact about Hotaro is he actually tries to come up with new cooking recipes. Consider it his version of alchemy. Throughout the series, the people he meets and monsters he sees will become inspiration for his food. So I think that's really interesting that he's a chef and that he's constantly coming up with recipes. It also feeds right back into the whole alchemy angle with this, where that'll inform how he fights and also how he probably puts together different forms and things like that. And figures them out. Is they're kind of like recipes. I think once he has that stroke of genius, he'll be like, oh shit, this is how it works, and he'll figure out some forms. So I like that. I like that we have that kind of a setup with him. I like that it's a younger protagonist. Very similar in age to probably like Sogo or Gentaro at the start of Forze. So it looks like, next thing here says, Gotchard's wild forms, which are like these monster forms he can take on. If you've at all seen the leak of the cameo in the Geats movie, in the Geats, Geats 4 Aces, whatever, the one that shows Geats' oneness off, his cameo in that, he uses the wild form, so you only see him as a monster, and then he turns back into normal Gotchard, Steam Hopper. So Gotchard's wild forms are the maxed out versions of his forms. Every form has a wild form. This is the one that they show as Mad Pirate's wild form. Though maxing out the form gives him non-humanoid appearances. So yeah, that is the main kind of cast there of characters. I'm really interested by what we've gotten so far. Seems to be a lot of the younger people, and there's a few adults, mainly Renee's father, and then the boring teacher. I'm gonna get to him in a minute. But I really like it. It seems really a really fresh take. It seems really unique. I like that we're getting a high school setting again. Gio, where it really wasn't. Gio wasn't really a high school setting. He was in high school, but it was never really a lot taking place there. Really, Forze is the one that, excuse me, we all know and love as the, main high school age rider, and one that takes place mainly in the high school, other than that in space. So I want to kind of get into my theory crafting and sort of what I might think might happen sort of thing. It's always fun to do this just when we get little details and stuff. So I do think, for one, that Renee's father is not gone. I do see either one of two things. He's being captured and used to create ride chemi cards for the bad guys, or he'll be corrupted into some kind of villain that they'll have to fight, and they'll realize it's him, and they'll release him, and either he'll die or he'll have a purified rider form or something like that. I also think the boring teacher man is going to be whatever this Kamen Rider legend is supposed to be. Apparently there's a name given to whatever Decades thing is supposed to be, even if Decades not in it. We don't really know. That's never been 100 million, for sure % confirmed that it's really going to be Masahiro Inoue, an actual Tsukasa Decade. But a character-esque, Decade-esque, that's supposed to be, I guess, referred to as Masked Rider or Kamen Rider legend. So my theory, and a few other people have talked about this too, but I kind of go along with it. My theory is that this boring character, this boring teacher that is boring at the normal high school, but is a badass, cool, mysterious when he's at the alchemy school, is going to end up being Kamen Rider Legend. I think it would make sense, him being older, and those being based off of previous riders and stuff like that. I'd like them to talk about it a little bit and be like, well, this is actually blah, 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 blah. This is I don't know, the Hibiki form. Hibiki, letting him know a little bit about it would be kind of cool. It may not be him. I don't know. And we don't really know 100% for sure because it's all grain of salt, leaks as far as this tertiary rider that's supposed to be Kamen Rider Legend, as it were. But overall, I'm really impressed. I think that this is a really unique cast from what I've seen of the cast photos and stuff like that, because it was the press conference yesterday. That's why I'm really talking about this. Really this morning / last night, depending on your time zone. I'm really impressed. I'm impressed that they not only put, so much into it to show off the, story and, kind of the setup of the show. And there's a trailer out there, and actually somebody's already subtitled it, so definitely take a look at that on Toku Twitter somewhere out there. I think I posted it recently, too, from Flame Subs. But showing off the story and, the aesthetics, and also the henshin pose is really cool. He, puts his arms out after he puts the cards in, Steam... Or, Hopper 1, it plays the little, Ichigo transformation sound. Steam Engine! And then he brings his arm here, and then he goes... Henshin! It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool pose. I like it. It definitely gives, a more, kind of mystical, very, graceful type of henshin pose that we've not gotten in a while, especially from a main rider. Geats is pretty, graceful, but, just the way that our movements are is pretty cool. Like I said, I like how diverse the cast is so far. It's a lot of younger cast members, and what I love about Rider and Sentai both is they're definitely springboards for these actors to get into other stuff in Japan in terms of roles, may it be movies or shows or what have you. But I'm really excited about it. I probably won't be getting the driver right away. I might at some point consider it, but I'm not going to right away get it and do a review on it and all that. And I definitely don't know if I'm going to do anything with the cards. I might get a pack or two, but that's just a lot to have to pour money into to get what you want, kind of a thing. If they sold single packs somehow, maybe, but I'm not going to buy a booster box. I just won't do it. It's too much money. But I do like the driver. I like the little trailer showing off so much that it did. Not too much to where it spoiled anything. And I love that our villain group is going to be a trio of women. I think that's really cool. To start off with, anyway. Clearly, there's going to be more villains. But I like the setup. I really want to know more about this alchemy school. And, if it's going to have a Harry Potter vibe to it, Hogwarts type vibe to it or something like that. And how Hotaro gets into it and finds out that it's even a thing. I like that it's in the basement of the normal high school, so there's got to be some magic alchemy thing going on there. And it also gives me vibes, of course, with Forze, where they had the rabbit hatch or hutch or whatever that would get them from the school from Managawa High School to the actual, little station on the moon or whatever. So it definitely gives vibes of that sort of too. So I hope that's maybe a little bit what they go for. I'm worried a tiny bit, only that I hope that they don't try to make this Forze 2.0 and just ape everything from Forze. Because I want them to be able to do their own thing. But so far, I really like the main rider's form. I like how the suit looks. They showed off a bit of the finisher, the little gun that he uses, some of the cards and stuff like that. I also need to mention this. Hopper 1 also is an actual little Kemi that comes with him. Little physical, little CG, little grasshopper friend. And I love him and I will die for him. Let me know in the comments below. What did you guys think of the press conference? If you guys have watched any of it and all the information that's come out about it. Let me know in the comments below. Are you excited? Are you not so sure? Are you in the middle? What is your kind of theories going forward for what we're going to get from Gotchard? I really would like to see what you guys have to say. It's always so much fun to kind of theory craft over, little tidbits we get about the season. What do you feel? How do you feel about the driver and the cards overall? Are you going to collect them? But yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching, liking, commenting, subscribing. I really appreciate it. But until next time, stay hooked on Heroes. I'll talk to you later. Gotcha!